Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Before I get started today, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my Hardcore Iron Man series. That's the usual kind of videos that I upload. If you're interested, I will leave a link to that below in the description. But for now, without any further interruption, let's get started. As you know, thieving is a massively popular skill, especially for early game accounts, Iron Man and such. There's quite a few popular methods out there to train your thieving higher, such as Pyramid Plunder, RD Knight, or Blackjacking. But for today, we're going to be looking at a slightly different and less used method of training thieving. Heroes are level 69 NPCs found exclusively in RD, which can be pickpocketed at 80 thieving. Whilst their normal loot table is pretty uninspiring and you can only get bones and coins, their actual pickpocket loot table looks fairly interesting with loot options such as death runes and fire orbs. Today I want to do a 10-hour loot video and try out this very infrequent thieving method and see how it goes. Now, just to kind of go over the requirements to do this particular thieving method, as I mentioned, the only concrete requirement would be 80 thieving, which I've got currently. I would recommend a higher thieving level if you're about to do this as well, but just wanted to test out pretty much how much XP you can expect per hour and stuff like that at level 80. However, I would recommend a few pieces of gear that can make this a little more efficient. So the first thing that I highly recommend for this would be the full rogue outfit. You can get this over in Berthorpe by taking part in the rogue dungeon minigame. And each piece increases the chance of getting double loot from any pickpocket by 20%, so the full set essentially gives me double loot every time I use it, so that's highly recommended. As well as that, I'm currently wearing a hit points cape, which gives me double HP regeneration and functions much in the same way as rapid heal, so you can use that instead if you haven't got the cape. Apart from that, you can of course employ as well these dodgy necklaces, which give some chance to avoid being stunned from a pickpocket when failing. They've got 10 charges each, so I've got about 200 in the bank currently for Iron Man. A easy method to obtain these would be to complete Shiloh Village, whereupon you can use the gem mine to get opals and create these. I'll be leaving the crafting requirements on the video right now so you can see. Apart from that, since heroes are such a high level, you'll be getting hit fairly frequently when being stunned. So in terms of healing, there's a couple of options you can do here. If you're fairly high level and you've got high construction, a good method would be to have an RD teleport in your POH, as well as an ornate pool. So that is the method I'll be using to regenerate my hit points. If you're lower level, you can also alternatively use a Ring of Dueling to go to the Clan Wars portal and regenerate your health that way. As well as that, there's of course stalls all around that you can steal from to regenerate some health, like cakes, bread and stuff like that. One final thing I would highly recommend for this type of activity is to have done some of the RD Diary. So RD Cloak 2 and 3, which is the medium and hard diary, gives a 10% increase to pickpocketing success whilst in RD, and the hard diary gives another 10% to pickpocketing success all across Gielinor. So all in all, that's an increase of 20% in the pickpocket success. So with those items recommended out of the way, let's move into the video. With the recommended items out of the way, let's speak a little bit about the goals of the video and what I kind of want to find out from this. So the first thing I kind of want to look into is, with 273 XP per successful pickpocket, I want to see how many levels I can achieve in the space of 10 hours starting off at 80 thieving. I want to see what kind of XP rates I can achieve hourly and if this will be efficient in terms of evading stuns, which I suspect it won't be. But with this method being so rare, I also do want to find out if the loot can be viable for accounts such as Iron Man that might have high thieving early on. There's stuff like fire orbs on the drop table, which will be really useful for crafting and money making. There's diamonds for making diamond bolt tips, as well as a sizable amount of death and blood runes for maybe using ancient magics or charging your trident, or maybe using Ibans early on at barrows. So with that all in mind, let's kind of look into where we'll be thieving. Just as a quick side note, for the purposes of the video, I have deposited my entire cash stack over in the Nightmare Zone coffer, and I've bagged all my death and blood runes into my rune pouch. So for those two, I should have an accurate kind of count of how much I can expect to gain in 10 hours. Same for the gold ore and the diamonds. I've taken screenshots of my respective counts for both, so it should be a quite accurate estimation at the end of the video. With that being said, the building I'll be using to pickpocket from will be just to the west of the RD market here, north of the armor shop. It's quite a small narrow building which looks to be an ideal kind of place to pickpocket from this guy. So why not? Let's begin here. 10 hours of loot from heroes. Hope you guys enjoy. So we are currently about an hour deep into the looting. We've got just over 100k and some of these other materials in the inventory. As you guys can imagine, this is quite bad. I'm getting stunned like 90% of the time, I would say, but these necklaces are helping out a whole lot. I think I've used about 15 so far. I've got 200 for this grind and 100 backup opals, so hopefully it should go well. I'll most likely be returning with level 81 Thieving. There we have it, 81 Thieving. This should make the process about 0.5% less tedious. We're about 2.5 hours into the grind so far. Should be a more reasonable expedition now that we got on the 1 Thieving advance, but I think we're going to be on, I think just over 1 mil in terms of the GP itself, and some other diamonds and stuff, so pretty cool so far. Let's keep going on the grind. We have just reached the halfway point, the 5-hour mark. I think for now I'm going to call it a day and finish off the rest of the 5 hours thieving here tomorrow. I think I've gained around 340k XP in thieving overall, and the cash stack is just below 500k. I thought I would get more runes by now, but I might be more lucky tomorrow. There we have it, 82 Thieving. We're about 6 hours deep into our journey. We just hit the 6-hour mark not too long ago. There's 82. And there we have it, friends. We've reached the 10-hour mark of the video. I am super happy to be finished with the heroes pickpocketing grind. I'm going to go ahead and bank right now, grab all the stuff I've been able to pillage from these guys for the previous 10 hours. Didn't quite make it to 83 Thieving, but got very, very close. Only 31k XP away. But I will be going over how much XP I earned and everything like that in just a jiffy. So we've brought out all the loot here in the inventory. As you can see, it's not too spectacular, but it's okay for what it's worth. Within the 10 hours, 860k or so, and all these supplies are still decent, I suppose. Nothing too significant, but let's throw all of this stuff into the price check. 1.2 mil in 10 hours. So it's an overlooked method for a reason. The stun is like 70% chance to get you stunned or something. So it's not very efficient, I would say, but it's still okay to get this after, like, I suppose 10 hours if you have nothing else you can do. But price wise, is it worth it for Iron Man? I wouldn't say so. With stuff like trading in cats for death runes, gold ore, you can pretty much buy quickly from a blast furnace trader, and the fire orbs is the kind of one I was curious most about, but in 10 hours 68 is definitely not worthwhile. Same for the diamonds as well, but still it's all good. It's fun to test these things out from time to time. And now to kind of talk about the XP as well. So all in all, I went from 80 to 82 and 85% of the way to 83 thieving, which was total 637,000 XP in thieving over the course of 2 days and 10 hours. Overall, this is not really comparable to stuff like RD Knights and Pyramid Plunder. At the higher levels, I think you can achieve upwards of 100k XP an hour, but I never fully expected to get that much doing these heroes. And on average, I would say, just looking at the kind of times I wrote down the XP, I was earning 51.5k XP per hour on average throughout the 10 hours. As well as this, I used 90 dodgy necklaces throughout the course of this as well to kind of prevent the pickpocket failure. And now, as for my final judgment on thieving or pickpocketing from these heroes, is it going to be worthwhile for Iron Man or for any other account? Marginally, if you may already have 99 thieving or are doing a rebuild, it might be a lot less aids to do than if you're level 80. That's about all I have for this method. It's not really going to be worth it for supplies. Gold wise, you could probably get a lot more from RD Knights, so I don't imagine this would be a viable kind of method for most people out there. However, if you're rebuilding, if you've already got the stats, this might be something okay for you if you've already got the thieving cape or something. But yeah, that's about going to do it for the video today. I do hope you guys have enjoyed the 10 hours of loot from pickpocketing heroes. This is the second challenge video I've ever done on my channel, the previous one being 10 hours of loot at Puro with 99 Hunter. I will have that linked in the description as well if you want to check it out. But if you guys have any other ideas, suggestions, comments on this, let me know below if you have any other ideas for like similar videos. I would love to take a look at what challenges you guys can give me. But apart from that, do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.